All right, guys, Metal Ryan wants me to check out YouTube's Hidden Predator by the channel Nick Crowley. I really like Nick Crowley's videos. I've been reacting to some of his stuff the past couple streams. They've been requested by a few different people. So YouTube's Hidden Predator by Nick Crowley. Let's check it out.
Just recently on Twitter, I had someone reach out to me and ask what I did to decompress after my disturbing investigations. And usually my process is to take a few days and just watch some lighthearted videos to kind of clear my mind from all this darkness. And a few months ago, when doing just that, I stumbled across a channel that really stuck with me. A channel so wholesome that I couldn't help but smile. It was an account called Plasma Master Don that showcases an old man singing covers of popular songs, with the first one I saw being his version of Slow Dancing in the Dark.
I think I've seen this guy before on YouTube. This old guy, like, he does covers of random songs. This guy looks very familiar.
It's a channel that has been discussed everywhere at this point, with the internet falling in love with this sweet old man, whose real name is Don. Over the years, Don has accumulated over 500,000 subscribers, capturing the hearts of all of them with his kind personality and captivative singing. He was just what 2020 needed, a break from the darkness, something undeniably innocent. But of all the places I've seen this channel discussed, there was one where I never would have expected to see him mentioned, and that is the r/morbid reality subreddit. Now, for those who don't know, this sub is extremely gruesome, and it's summed up perfectly within its title as the darkest recesses of humanity.
What?
And in the beginning of October 2020, and between all these posts of darkness and death, was a post about Plasma Master Don, the channel that in my mind was probably the purest ever created. Naturally,
Marissa, I literally said, "Oh no," and I looked at the chat and you said, "Oh no." We said that at the same time.
I assumed this was some kind of joke, but as I clicked on the link, I realized that it was anything but. The post reads, "Sweetest elderly YouTube cover artist, Plasma Master Don, is actually a recently registered sex offender."
Oh gosh.
And along with it were two attached images, one of the Plasma Master Don YouTube channel, and the other of a mugshot. A mugshot that looks eerily similar to this beloved man.
It's literally the same man.
The post was then followed up with multiple links leading to two separate...
It's not eerily similar. That's literally the same guy. You can tell by the picture. They look identical unless he has a twin brother. It's the same guy.
Separate sex offender registry sites, each showing a man named Donzel Edward Owens, a 73-year-old man from Ohio. The man happened to be arrested on August 19th, 2019.
Of course it's Ohio.
For a crime labeled as sexual imposition, with his victim being described as a juvenile male.
Down in Ohio.
Now, both of these sites offer no explanation
Creepy
as to
Don
the
in
situation
Ohio.
that specifically led to the arrest. But just by looking it up, sexual imposition typically occurs when someone has some kind of sexual contact with a person against their will. And in this case, we already know that the victim was an underage boy. So that alone means this Donzel sexually touched a child without their consent.
Because they're messed up, DW, that's why. Anyway. There's a lot of them out there.
That alone says so much, but I wanted to know the specifics of this case, just to be sure of what we're dealing with here. And after doing a little bit of digging, I eventually came across an article that briefly mentioned Donzel, stating that...
Exactly, Marissa. Someone said, why are there so many stories with these predators? It's because there's a lot of them out there, unfortunately. So there's lots of stories.
That a May 13th pretrial was set in County Municipal Court for Donzel E. Owens Jr., charged with sexual imposition for allegedly grabbing another man's genitals on Sunday.
Jeez.
And as we know already, this is something he was convicted of. It's a disturbing crime, and one that I find to be completely unforgivable. But what was even more shocking to me about this case was that the post claimed it was actually committed by Plasma Master Don, as they theorized that the two were the same person. Now, truthfully, I was shocked, but I initially assumed that it was just someone who looked very similar. I mean, I've seen false reports like this in the past, where people nearly had their lives ruined over it.
Oh, I remember that
when
guy.
I went on Plasma Master Don's channel,
He played
I couldn't
RuneScape.
find any comments relating to the story, and his like-to-dislike ratio was still extremely high. So I just assumed that this
500,000
connection
likes?
wasn't actually true. After all, how could this man, the man I've been watching for months now, be capable of such a disturbing thing? But just out of curiosity, I decided to do a little bit of investigating, and what I found was incredibly disheartening. Now, before we really get into this, please do
Guys, it's literally the same guy, I'm sorry. Like I said, unless he has an identical twin brother, it's Don.
not send any hate towards this person, and please do not go after them. That's obviously just not okay, and I'm only sharing this information because
yeah, Ray, I remember that, bro.
And I feel like it really needs to be discussed.
Ray, did he pass away? I can't remember the name of that guy who played that older guy with the big beard who plays a RuneScape, I think. I think he had cancer, I saw on YouTube. He may have passed away. I can't remember the name of his Twitch or YouTube channel, but I think he was pretty sick.
So is Plasma Master Don really the same person as this registered sex offender? Well,
yes.
Starting with the most obvious factor first, this Donzel person shown within the mugshot does look eerily similar to Don, the man behind the Plasma Master channel. Same looking face, same...
He's wearing the same shirt. The same exact freaking shirt.
Glasses, same brown eyes, same black hair, even the same birthmark. I mean, he also appears to be wearing the same exact shirt in this particular video, and they both have that same distinct chin.
That's sad,
the
Ray.
Physical description is definitely a match, but again, basing things solely off of looks is completely irresponsible. There has to be more evidence. So what about their names? Well, as mentioned previously, the sex offender's name is Donzel Edward Owens. And interestingly enough, in Plasma Master Don's channel, he says that the videos are by Don Owens, aka himself. And further researching the name Donzel Owens, I discovered an old personal YouTube channel belonging to Don that doesn't feature any content, but it shows his photo from all the way back in 2012. And within this channel, his name is listed as Donzel Owens Jr.
It's literally
so not only
him.
Do they look the same, but they have the same name. And Don can easily be seen as a nickname for Donzel.
Clearly, yeah.
It's strange. But again, maybe this could just be some crazy coincidence.
I doubt that.
Now, going off the sex offender registry, it lists Donzel's birthday as September 10th, 1947. Meaning that he is currently 73 years old, which Don certainly looks. I mean, this is a man that clearly seems to be in his 70s. So the age does seem to line up, but he doesn't just look 73. He is 73.
Yeah, Marissa, it's hard to know.
Shockingly, when looking under his About tab, Don actually gives his full date of birth, something I assume he does so that his fans will know and send him birthday wishes. And I honestly would have thought this was charming before, because it's such a grandpa move. But now, I
creepy
view it as
grandpa.
Incredibly dark, because his birthday is exactly the same as this registered sex offender's. So they look the same, they have the same name, and the same exact birthday. It's starting...
Yeah, the same birthday and everything. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. Literally looks like the same man, same birthday. Come on. It's literally Don.
To get to the point where these coincidences are now piling up, and it doesn't get any better from here. When you're a registered sex offender, there are certain things about you that are disclosed to the public, something done in order to protect the community. And in Don's case, one of the things that they disclosed was his vehicle, where it's listed as being a 2005 white Buick Century.
Ryan, I forgot about that.
This is kind of an odd thing to bring up during this topic, but it actually is vital to our investigation, because Don has actually shown his vehicle on several occasions throughout his channel. And you won't even believe this, but one of these videos is literally called My 2005 Buick Century.
Okay.
And in it, we see that his car
not a
is
coincidence anymore.
It's the same exact model, same year, and same color as this sexual predator.
Not a coincidence.
So all in all, we have the same car, same name, same birthday, and identical looking. And that's not even all. This Donzel was charged in a very specific area of Ohio, which I'm not going to name because truly I do not want this man to be doxxed, and it's literally the last thing I want to come of this, so please do not do that. But within Don's channel, it's made abundantly clear that he lives in the same exact area as this Donzel, something made obvious by a literal tour of the town that this sex offender is said to live in, as well as him frequently visiting parks and festivals that are very close to this area. And I know this all sounds vague, but if you've seen my channel before, I hope you can just take my word for it. But this information is out there and it's not hard to find, but I really just don't feel comfortable disclosing it. But this old singing man lives in the same area as the pedophile Donzel. So with all this, I think we're at a point where we can take this evidence and begin to assume the obvious here. That Plasma Master Don is in fact Donzel Owens, a sexual predator.
Come on,
There's
Don.
just too much overwhelming evidence here to think otherwise. And I even went back to check and make sure the actual pages that show his registry were legit, and it turns out they are, as these sites can literally be reached through the FBI's actual website. And if you do an independent search on this site for Donzel, he really does come up. So where does that leave us?
Are you serious?
Well, with the likelihood that YouTube's most wholesome channel is actually being run by a sex offender. Plasma Master Don likely grabbed a young boy by his genitals. And the most concerning part to me is that this was a recent thing. I mean, he was just charged over a year ago. So he did this when he was already a beloved YouTuber.
Which
brings me to the whole point of this video. Here we have a channel with over 500,000 subscribers,
right, Noah?
That is likely run by a predator. And with a channel this size, he could, at any point, use it to lure victims in. I mean, he's this wholesome grandpa, everybody loves him. And I'm sure he has tons of people who reach out to him every single day, many of whom are likely underaged, just given the demographics of YouTube.
Oh gosh.
And this is especially concerning
given
the fact that on multiple instances he is saying children's songs. And just to prove that he does in fact have young fans
Don's
out there,
creepy, I'm sorry.
From a fan-run account
Don's
dedicated
weird.
to Don that is clearly run by a child.
If you guys have ever heard of Plasma Master Don, he is a really good YouTuber. Just please give him some love, because I really like his channel.
So to know that at
Don.
any point in time he can be in contact with thousands of kids, all of whom look up to him, just rubs me the wrong way. Because what would a predator do with that type of power? This is something that always makes me nervous, especially given how common grooming is nowadays, and how easily people can be manipulated by those with fame. And now that we have a channel here run by a likely sex offender, it just makes me even more worried. And obviously there's no proof that this is actually going on here, but I think it's a valid concern, simply based off of the legitimate crimes.
Guys, Nick Crowley here keeps saying we don't have 100% proof. Yes, we do. I think Nick Crowley keeps saying, assuming or coincidence. Same birthday, looks identical, has the same vehicle, he's registered online. I think Nick Crowley's saying it's a coincidence, this or that, because he's trying to maybe protect himself. Nick Crowley's channel, he doesn't want to accuse this guy if it's not 100% fact. I think it's pretty easy to say here that Don is a creep, and there's not any coincidences in my opinion
that this man seems to have committed. And just to clarify, I'm using words like likely and seems because I want to avoid legal issues here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like the evidence more than speaks for itself. Now,
exactly.
there are just a few other points that I want to add here about Don's channel, with one of which being the comments. Earlier, I had mentioned how there were no comments under his videos that spoke of his supposed arrest, something I found very bizarre. Well, it turns out that Don seems to have banned any comments that include buzzwords surrounding his case, and not just the more vulgar terms that YouTube normally holds for review, but it seems his channel removes any talk of this case at all, something he likely did within the settings of his channel.
Don is
along
sus.
with him most likely manually deleting some as well, which is clearly not something that an innocent man would typically do. And along with this, something else fairly strange happened recently within one of his videos, a video called The Past Recedes, John Frusante, cover by request. And in it,
Nick's
he begins the
comment,
video saying
Don
that
is
his
high-key
health was
sus.
hindering his singing ability, further adding that he was considering stopping the channel altogether. Now, obviously this is something that is quite sad as he is getting older, but interestingly enough, this video was posted just 4 days after the news broke about him being a supposed predator.
Wow.
This was the very next video he made.
I don't know,
after
Todd.
people started to
Maybe.
catch on, and after that post was made to Morbid Reality. So the timing is clearly suspicious. And by the end of this investigation, I'm equally as disappointed as I am disturbed.
Sad.
This was the one channel
It's actually
that so
sad.
many people clung onto, simply because of its innocence and its wholesomeness. I mean, I've never seen such a positive and highly praised channel in all my life.
Don wasn't
Yet
so
in
innocent,
actuality,
was he?
None of us knew that he's literally a registered sex offender, a predator, the most vile kind of person. And if anything, it confirms a long-running trend of my channel, that there is always more than what meets the eye, especially with what you see here on YouTube. And in this case, Plasma Master Don turned out to be the very opposite of what we all thought he was.
Innocent. He's not.
I want to say thank you so much to my amazing...
Oh, wow. Another very interesting video by Nick Crowley. Again, Metal Ryan, thanks for requesting that, bro. YouTube's Hidden Predator.